Hello everyone, this is Champion. Ugh! Damn it, I can't see a thing in this.
It is very easy to hide behind an archetype, a weaponized archetype, and a still slide. Sargon of Akkad, Bane AU666,
Now, bruh, I'ma let you finish, but it's Bane 666 AU. And what are you talking about, an archetype or a weaponized archetype? But I'm sure you'll explain it, mate. But carry on naming all these people you are calling out, please. Please, do carry on, bruh.
Mundane Matt and the former internet aristocrat. It is very easy to remain anonymous, yet nothing that these people who are apparently trying to become the vocal spokespeople for a generation that feels frustrated, nothing has changed, and that's the litmus test.
Bruh, what do you mean, trying to stay anonymous? Mundane Matt has shown his face. Sargon of Akkad has shown his face. Bane is, out of all of them, apart from Jim, who has remained the most anonymous, like for ages. If it wasn't using an accent, you never heard Bane's actual voice until very recently. Jim appeared on chats and streams a lot, and you hear his actual voice. I think we probably might even know what he looks like, I'm not sure. But all the others have been open to some extent. Apart from Bane, he only recently showed his true voice, but that's besides the point. That doesn't really matter. And what do you mean nothing's changed? Gamergate has broken a lot of ground. There's clearly been some kind of backlash against your ideology and your movement because people are sick of your controlling and evil ways. So please do go on how about we're not changing anything and that the paradigm is not shifting or there's some kind of difference, because now people are tired of your bullshit and they're going to call it out.
And that's the litmus test. If you want to remain anonymous,
Again, two of them are not anonymous. They're not. I know you may think, if you saw this video, that I'm remaining anonymous. I am not. I am just choosing to use my microphone only. You can see my face. I've shown my face. Hell, I've even told people my real name. I'm hardly what they call anonymous. And neither is Sargon, which we know his true name, and we've seen his face. And neither is Mundane Matt. We know who Mundane Matt is, and we've seen his face. So you can stop calling them anonymous. Only two of them are anonymous, and even then it's different shades of anonymous.
Want to speak for an entire generation, or
now you're just asserting, mate. How do you know they want to be the spokespersons for an entire generation? As far as I'm aware, that's not their stated goals. They just want to point out your lunacy and laugh at it, and also debunk any of the more serious bullshit that's actually threatening our culture and our academic principles, etc, etc, you know. But never mind, carry on, mate. Carry on with these terrible assertions you're making about these people.
at least attract the attention of an entire generation, which Sargon of Akkad in particular is on his way to doing, and in a particular way, might I add, but nonetheless, is if they want to become the representatives for a generation that really does exist on the internet, and to do it with a meme, a weaponized archetype.
What do you mean memes? What do you mean by a weaponized archetype? I don't think you know what that means. You keep using that word. I don't think you know what it means, bruh. Come on, please. Please. Explain this. You're not making a whole lot of sense. You don't even seem to have a point. You're supposed to be calling these people out, but what exactly are you saying? What are you saying?
Something that is being used to fuck people without them even knowing, then the test is what has changed. There's Gamergate.
Yes, I did mention Gamergate. That has changed a lot of things now, hasn't it, my little snowflake? So, please, explain how nothing has changed, yet Gamergate has arrived, and it has changed. Excuse the Palpatine.
That's it. I mean, you want to talk about the biggest distraction that has ever been put in front of the put in front of the viewers that are like me, people who were once in love with technology, but who are now watching it be corrupted by pettiness and drama and dogma.
Oh really? Gamergate was a distraction. Then how come Gawker lost millions? They lost 7-figure sums, or 6-figure sums. I think it might have been 6-figure sums of money because Gamergate targeted their advertisers in planned, coordinated consumer action. Let's not forget the amount of publications whose content hasn't changed, but are certainly is now being overwatched by us, and they have now updated their ethics policies and now know that if they breach these ethics, they will be found out and they will potentially be punished for this. And let's not forget that Gamergate spawned even more things or inspired other movements to do their own stuff, so like Sad Puppies. SPJ Airplay came as a result of this, the various meetups. It has done far more in a year than we could possibly have imagined. How can you stand there in front of a camera and say it's just the biggest distraction in the world and it's somehow corrupting technology? It's corrupting technology because everything's about drama and pettiness. It's like, no, the drama and the pettiness is coming from feminism and the way that has corrupted the tech industry with its bullshit. You know, gamers are dead. Gamers don't have to be your audience. Why the hell would they be saying this? Why are people saying this to their own audience? This is not our fault. This is not the gamers' fault. This is your fault. This is your people's fault. And how dare you try to sit there as just a member of the plebs when it's your movement who's doing this? You do not speak for all neutrals because it's quite clear that you are not coming from this from a neutral perspective.
I mean, it's actually what it is. It's in a very visual sense, that's what it is. There's some deeper elements to it that I would like to ultimately discuss in a future video, but the point of this video is to call out especially Sargon of Akkad, especially. But Mundane Matt, Bane AU666.
Bane 666 AU, motherfucker. Can you speak it? Did you not bother to check his name during your bloody filming process? I always make sure I get names right. Your lack of faith in your video editing skills and research appalls me.
The former internet aristocrat who I believe has reemerged, but Sargon of Akkad in particular, but all those kinds of YouTubers.
But why Sargon and all these other players who actually are quite small in comparison to him? In fact, he is dwarfed by the likes of Thunderfoot and the Amazing Atheist. Hell, even Nate Talks to You probably has as many subs as Sargon does, and he's an anti-feminist. He certainly doesn't ascribe to their beliefs, even if he does it in a completely different way to everyone else. I mean, there's so many different people that you could be calling out. You call out Bane666AU, the internet aristocrat who no longer talks about Gamergate. And, well, he might occasionally talk about some feminist issues, but by and large, he's no longer part of it. Mundane Matt, who had the pivotal role early on and has done a very good job of cataloguing all this stuff. Seriously though, Bane666AU, he's quite a small player in Gamergate. No offense, Bane, but you could have picked some better targets to call out. Even though you're not actually calling them out, you're just basically saying, you've changed nothing. You've done nothing. You won't be a voice for a generation. Without actually saying anything substantial to back up these silly assertions and claims of yours. You're literally talking shit. Hell, you're not even saying anything. It's just blah, 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 to me.
Who have latched on to the Gamergate phenomenon and gaming in of itself and are using it as a tool for promoting their own agenda.
What? Don't give me that crap, mate. Don't give me that crap. That is projection. That is the feminists that have seen gaming and have latched onto it for their own agenda. Let's just take a look at some of those guys. Bane666AU. I don't know if he necessarily plays games, but I know that he's certainly not doing this for agenda pushing. He's probably a kind of supporter of Gamergate and gamers, but by and large he's more interested in the politics overall than he is of a consumer revolt. I mean, that's what I've gauged from him and through talking with him. Mundane Matt was there from the start. It was his DMCA'd video, Hell Hath No Fury, Like a Lover Scorned, which set off the conspiracy, which in turn ended up evolving into Gamergate. Sargon of Akkad was also there. He was at the beginning, chronicling this and giving his opinion. Jim was also there at the beginning. His videos on the conspiracy was the reason why it became so big in the first place. So you cannot just stand there and say and lie to people's faces that these people have latched onto it for attention and to push their agenda, when one either has a fleeting interest and is more interested in the politics overall, and the rest were there from the beginning, documenting this shit and dispelling the narrative and defending people. How dare you sit there and project and lie? How dare you?
Which by itself is concerning. And I will ask anyone who watches this, what has changed? What improvements have been made via the bemoanings and the words and the still slides and the archetypes and the thought patterns and the paradigms and the hijacking done by these few YouTubers who so many of us are paying attention to for what reason, I'm not certain.
Well, let's just say more people have been inspired to speak up and make their voices heard. For example, I certainly would not be making videos if it weren't for me watching the likes of The Amazing Atheist, Sargon of Akkad, Jim, Mundane Matt, Bane, etc., etc. I would not be doing this if it weren't for them inspiring me to get off my ass, buy a fucking microphone, and start recording. Although originally I didn't start doing YouTubing, I was on the podcast, but that was the initial drive. It was watching them and realising that, yeah, I can do this too. It's not that hard. You can make your voice heard and actually reach millions, hundreds and thousands of people. Hell, even just 100. It doesn't matter, okay? As long as your voice is heard, you will be one united force against the people who are trying to ruin your hobby and your interests, and hell, even the world at large, as I later found out. That has to count for something. The influencing of others to do the same kind of work in YouTube. And who knows, maybe that could foster something down the line. These people can go into media and all sorts. They can get jobs. And these people could change the world for the better. You don't know that, do you? And I've already mentioned what Gamergate spawned. And let's not forget that those things are not insignificant. Those things are quite significant. SBJ was a rousing success despite your ideology's efforts to stop it. There has been a lot of change. But we've all said that it's going to take 10 years, this battle. It's not over. We've just started. This is the first year. And you keep accusing them of hijacking. They didn't hijack something if they were already a part of it. At least apart from Bane666. But he was not hijacking anything. He was a long-time YouTuber talking about feminism and atheism, etc. He was doing it for the he was a political commentator of sorts. Yeah, he's certainly not doing it for an agenda, I can tell you that.
I don't know, but nonetheless, what has changed? What positive changes have come?
Already told you. Whatever. Next.
From someone who wants, from the efforts that are being put forward by a group that want to, or a type of YouTuber that wants to speak or is intending to speak for an entire generation. What has changed? And the answer...
Before I stop you there, again, stop asserting that they want to speak for an entire generation. What if they just want to speak because they want to do it themselves and whoever listens can come along for the ride? People do not want to become a voice of a generation by choice. They are given it by the people. The people appoint these people to be their representatives and their spokesmen. Do you think Milo wanted to be the voice of an entire generation of straight men? He's gay. No, of course not. He was given that responsibility by the people and he took it. He accepted it. He was like, okay, you know what? These people rely upon me to speak truthfully about these matters and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I think it needs to be done. You are not given it by your own choice. People accept you and say, we want you to be the voice because you're the best one for the job. It's kind of like employing a spokesperson or electing an official. In fact, it's more like electing a political official. They are the spokesperson for their community. They were chosen because they were considered the best one for the job. That is it. That is why. End of discussion. But it seems you already have an answer despite asking us what has changed. So go on, please, enlighten me.
In my observations, is absolutely nothing positive. We are sliding farther and farther into making excuses and following a trail of dogmatic breadcrumbs. Nothing has changed. So
It seems that in your delusion and in your anger, you were living under a rock all this time and did not realize that the change had already happened. You see what I mean? You must have been living under a rock, or you're delusional to notice that change is happening. Slowly but surely, it is there. It is there. Hell, Here's another one that I didn't mention. The Escapist got rid of the likes of Jim Sterling, a Movie Bob, and maybe a few others, although some of them left through choice, others were removed behind the scenes because they were liabilities, and replaced them with the likes of Liz and somebody else. I forgot who it was who's also working for them. So these are pro-Gamergaters, let's not forget. You know? Never, ever forget that. That is a significant change in policy by the Escapist. But oh well. So I challenge you to tell me what hasn't actually changed. Because you're not telling me the shit. You're just talking about dogmatic breadcrumbs and weaponized archetypes. It's like, none of this makes any sense. They're meaningless buzzwords that you have concocted to make it look like you've got an argument, when actually you don't. Because the only thing that hasn't changed is your ideology. It is your ideology that is creating these dogmatic and ideological breadcrumbs, to quote you. So please stop projecting for one moment and actually give me an argument.
I challenge you, Sargon of Akkad, Mundane Matt, Bane AU66.
Bane 666 AU.
Internet Aristocrat, show your fucking faces.
Two of them have done, you fucking idiot. Can you not just go and look at their fucking content and you will see they have shown you their faces? And so what? What's wrong with anonymity? It doesn't make you a coward. It doesn't make you nefarious. Anonymity is very important. I'm sure that you as a feminist appreciated the what was her, I forgot her name. The one from the UVA controversy, the one who was anonymous and was known only by one name, which may not have been her real name. I'm sure you appreciated this so-called victim's anonymity, yet you can't appreciate our anonymity. You can't appreciate Bane's anonymity. You know, we can lose our jobs over being anti-feminist, right? We've seen this happen. We've seen the likes of Laughing Witch attempt to end Thunderfoot's career just because of his opinions. We have seen people like Adria Richards who will get someone fired over making a dongle joke, even though we don't even know what their politics even were. Can you not see why people value their anonymity online? But oh well, you know, in this authoritarian world, there must always be openness.
And let's make some real change as a generation.
Oh, we'd love to make some, you know, legitimate real change, but you're trying to stop us. Every time we try and create ways to help everyone, you stop us because that's sexist, that's racist, that's transphobic, that's homophobic, etc. Oh, you're not doing real change. All you do is complain because you stop us. But you know what? That's another video for another day. So anyway, this idiot didn't come up with any points or an argument. He was saying that nothing had changed when things were changing. So that's all I have to say on the matter. I will see you all later.